I think Paul's lost his mind. He wants us to fit this Oase Proficlear drum into here. I just don't think it's going to fit. Well, this week we're on another filter install. We've come over to Gloucester, so over an hour's drive. It was a chap that actually bought a drum off us at the Koi show, so he needed that installed, so we've come over to do that. It's going to be a few days work, so I'll flip the camera around and we'll go and have a look and show you the pond, because he's got some big fish in there. This is the drum the compact L will be installing. Paul's getting to work already, makes a change. Keep saying that every video, don't I? This is the equipment that he's had off us, compact L, and then he's got the 21,000 Premium AquaMax to go on there. This is the current setup that he's got. He's running on a sieve and then to a bead filter with 110 watt UV. Unfortunately, he's not keeping the water clarity great. And just a quick note as well, guys, I don't know whether you can see in the video, but look at the bow in that glass. If you are doing big windows, it's worth stepping up to triple lamination just to make sure. It's been in there for years and it's holding, but yeah, do be careful. But yeah, got some cracking fish, lovely achiever there, chagoy. And if we can just get on the video, you'll just see there's a lot of fines and stuff in the water, so you wanted to upgrade the filter system. Paul had popped over, but it's the first time I've seen it. But yeah, it's going to be a squeeze getting it in there, that's for sure. So it's going to, I will video it, but whether you'll be able to see anything from the camera with us working in it will be another question. So he's on the bead filter, and unfortunately as well, it's not helped by the beads are actually breaking down. So yeah, his water quality, yeah, clarity isn't great. The quality's okay, but we'll take out the sieve, get rid of that, get rid of the bead, and then we're going to measure up for what height we need. He's done some work himself. We did want the lintel under the window here, so we might have to do a bit of work on that to get all the waste discharging and everything, because as I say, he's tight in here, so it's going to be a squeeze. But we'll get filming, we'll crack on, and I'll show you it as we're going along.
I don't know if you can see, but apparently chickens help the flow on the return lines on this pond. Here they come.
Right, we've drained everything down, got this sieve out. Luckily as well, you can see where it's coming out of here. This boot, it may have been previously done up, but I've mentioned before, just be careful because they can become loose over time. So this is very loose, and once we undid it from here and put a bit of weight on it, it's literally about to fall off. So lucky, we'll get it all off, drain the water down a bit because it's on the skimmer, and get a new one on there and it's tightened up properly. Right, we've stripped everything out, all empty in there. We put a bung into the bottom drain, so there's no water coming through there because they're on slide valves, so they are weeping. And then that's just finishing off. We had to take that section off because, as I previously said, it was a bit loose. And then on here you can see I've drawn a black line, so that line is his maximum water level he's ever going to get in the pond. When we're installing the drums, we like to go to the max line on here. As long as you're in between them two lines, then it's fine, but we always try and keep it towards the top line, because the higher the water, the better the drum will run. So from the line, top line in there to the top of the drum is 110 mil. So we've then marked from the water line 110 mil, because we will need to bring up the level of the floor, so we'll sit it on some blocks to get up to the right height. So the top of the drum should be sitting at this level when we're done, and then the water level when it's static will be sitting there. So we'll work that out now and get some blocks sorted for it to sit on. So as you can see, we're just getting the concrete blocks down for the drum to sit on. We've got to go 3 high to get it up to the level we need sitting at. So we'll get all these in and then they'll go off today, and it'll be a case of us starting tomorrow of getting the filter in and start getting it plumbed up. Right, second day on the job. The fish have obviously had no filtration on. We've got the block working, so we had to let that set really, because obviously you can't lift and try and get this in there because you just end up knocking the blocks around. We've got that all in, and then we've just had the air on overnight, so we want to get the filters back up and running. A lot of foam on the water this morning. Quite cold this morning. Don't forget guys, if your pond is not heated, look at the size of that carp. Yeah, don't forget, if your pond is not heated and you are switching on to wheat germ, now is the ideal time to just start mixing a bit of wheat germ in, just so your fish get used to it. Don't just try and switch straight onto it. So yeah, day 2, let's get cracking. Quick update on what we're doing, being as it is very tight in there. We've actually got these blanking caps, which are 150mm blanking caps, and then we drill a hole in them and put a pressure pipe tank connector on, and then we've done it equal, and they're 1.5 inch going into a 2-inch T, because we've just got one pump pulling 21,000 litres, but on these drums you want to try and pull even roughly from both sides, so that should draw on both sides pretty even, which will work out nice, and that should keep it as tight as we can. You can change these out to 4-inch ones, but then when we change them out to 4-inch, you then put a 4-inch to 2-inch reducer on, and it's still going to stick out much further than this. So this way we can get it nice and tight, save as much room as possible. Now we're going to get the filter in. Wish us luck. So the drum is in, as we thought. We've not got much spare, but it's in, and we've got the skimmer. We've got the skimmer going in here, which goes back to there, and then just behind that, that leads down to the bottom drain. We've had to put another gate valve in because you can't reach down to that one. And then we've got the slide valve for the waste that's going to a drain at the back. This here that goes into the skimmer pipe has actually got a 90, so it goes up here, and then it goes on another 90 out into the pond. And what we're actually going to do with that is use it as a balance pipe. So we will have a header tank in this chamber, and then that will have an automatic top up on. We haven't just put that straight through into there because obviously there'll be draw on this pipe, so we didn't want it drawing water out of the tank, because obviously that would give a false reading. So say the pipe actually goes up and into the pond, so it comes out of the skimmer. So that should give us a nice balanced pipe, because obviously we can't get anything into the pond now because it's all glass and everything else, and it'd be a lot of work to do that. So that's the best solution we've come up with. If you can think of any other ideas that we could have gone with. I never like to put the top up in the drum, because obviously if you get blanket weed or anything around the bottom drains or anything like that, the water level can slightly fluctuate in there. And if you're doing it off the pipe work, that can also fluctuate depending on how much draw there is on the water coming through the pipe, so that can change it. But yeah, we're in. We've just got to get the UV mounted here, go around, and then there's 2 returns, so we're probably going to have to take this shelf out and do a manifold type thing up there with 2 ball valves so you can control each return. As I think, being as the drum's so high, it's going to have to go above the shelf, possibly above them sockets there, and then into the UV there. We're mounting the UV down there because where it was at the back, you just can't get to it to work. And also with them UVs, you need to be able to slide the bulbs out, which when it was across there, either way you went, you hit the bulbs on the wall, so you have to take the whole UV out every time. So hopefully with us mounting it there, you should have enough room to slide the bulbs up and get them changed relatively easy. So I'll keep you posted on how we're doing. Right, we're on day 3. Bits of piping and bits everywhere at the moment. We've got all the drum in, everything is done on the inlet side, and then we've now moved the shelf up, sorted out the air, piping the best we can with what he's got, and we've got the nice new ball valves coming round. Had to miss the plug socket, so we've come over them, and then we've gone on to his existing UV. So we've just got left, as far as pipework goes, got to go down here. I'm going to put a couple of blocks for the pump to sit on and then come out the back of the drum. So we've just got that bit left to connect up. And the great news is, as well, is the pond has been filling. So we've now got a decent amount of water in the pond, so in an hour we should be up to level, so we can get it all purged and get it up and running. We'll get the rest of this piping in, and then we just got a bit of electrics to do, and then we'll put the header tank in there. Originally this is the tanks that we normally use, which you just grab from tool station, but unfortunately if I put that tank there, it's just going to block you getting to everything, because we had to put the gate valves down in there. So I've propped the pipe up here, which is going to be going to the tank. So what we've actually got, which we have used in the past, and they work pretty well, to be fair, and I'll show you when it's all done. We've actually got a toilet cistern that will just go on there, and it's one that you normally mount behind the walls and stuff when you're putting in toilet. It's a concealed cistern, so we'll put that on there, and it'll only be slimline, so it shouldn't come out further than this block work. So once that's all mounted and done, I'll come back to that later and we'll show you. But yeah, we're getting there. This install, it's the third day, and we should be done today. Normally on these type of installs we'd only be on a couple of days, but unfortunately the access has been so tight, and I've needed Paul here for a lot of it to jump over the wall and try and get round, and then hold pipes at the back to make sure I can push the joints. So yeah, it's a bit longer than normal, but yeah, it's such tight access that it's just been a nightmare getting in there. But it's all done and it's in, which is great. If you are looking at installing a filter system like this, if you've got loads of space, I would always recommend going double the size of the filter. If you are a bit strapped for room, I would at least make it the length and a half of the filter, so you've got enough room to have your slide valves and stuff inside, and then you can get out the back as well. But believe you me, when you're putting on the pipe work and everything, you need a lot more space than you'd anticipate. So try and make your filter chambers as big as you can. As you will have just heard, the drum cleaned. We're all finished, up and running. What to go through in here? Well, the pump we got in there, that's going up to its original UV. Just so you can see, we have put an isolation ball valve in, because if you ever need to do any maintenance on that pump, you don't want to have to drain down the filter. So you can close that off. And then we've also got an isolation here, because we have got both of them, but it's just easier to get to this one if you've got to take the UV off and do any work. Managed to get up and over the electrics, and then what we've done, being as the water will try and go past this one to the end, we've just cranked that down slightly. We had a look in the pond and we've managed to balance out the flow pretty good. The drum, as I say, that's all sorted, currently running. Plenty of air going into there. That's still a bit buoyant, but that'll turn better over the next couple of days. You just see the water coming through. That's doing a clean again now. And then this, if I get it from that angle, it, as I said, virtually level with the wall, which is brilliant. And then it's just a toilet cistern, and then we've got the top up and the overflow pipe in there. So that's just trickling in slowly at the moment, just topping up a bit. It's been doing a lot of cleans because obviously the pond's pretty filthy, and then that comes out on a flexible hose, so it will run in through the dechlorinator and then through there. Even though it's coming in at the top and going out at the bottom, Beaner's run the top up and it's got the isolation valve. The water's still trying to go through there a lot faster than it can actually get through, so this will obviously stay full of water. It won't just, you'll get full dechlorination on it. And then underneath, we've gone onto the original one fitting that comes with it, onto a rubber collar, and then we've got an isolation gate valve just in case we ever need to empty the tank or anything else. This is the overflow pipe, that's just going to out there because it won't really ever overflow that much unless we happen to have very, very heavy rain, because obviously it's on a drum filter, so it's continually cleaning and using a bit of water. And then the waste pipe, it'll be hard to see, but that's going down there, and then he's actually got an eco drain across the back of there, so it's all piped in. Very hard to see in the picture, in the video, but we're all sorted. It's just a case now of we need the pond to start clearing, which will happen over the next few days because it is still very murky. Paul's just putting the last of the tools away. Yeah, the fish are all fine and the pond's looking good. As I say, just the water clarity, you can see all the bits floating around, so they'll all be taken out over the next few days and then it should be all crystal clear. That's another one done and dusted. On to the next one.